Guten Tag, this is the Prince of Macedon, and I'm doing a commentary video for Men of War. This is a multiplayer battle. I command the Germans, and my opponent is elektrikAL in command of the Germans too. Okay, so we're gonna get right into the action here. Right there is my opponent's Panzer IV, that's a long-barreled version, and he saw my sniper, and he tried to run him over, but he did not see that rock in front of him, so he ran into that rock, and the rock tipped him over. And seeing his tank tip over like that, I'm going to run one of my infantrymen up and disable its track with an anti-tank grenade. I tried to destroy it, but it only disabled its track, but my tank behind it was able to destroy the engine. So I'm going to move my my Panzer IV closer, and I'm using a short-barreled Panzer IV right here. But I'm going to get within a point-blank range, and I'm going to blast his tank. And I missed that first shot somehow. And I'm not using direct control at this point, but I will in a bit. And I've got more Panzer IVs out in the forest back there. Now my opponent here takes out a Panzer II, and he runs through the center there, but that's where my infantry's at. So my infantry is going to destroy it right there, boom. But once I destroyed his Panzer II, his Panzer IV on the right there started shooting at my infantry. So I have to try to save my infantry by running my Panzer IV up here. And this is the E variant. It's got that small barrel on it, but I'm going to use direct control, and I'm going to try to disable its turret, or destroy it hopefully. And you can see his turret slowly moving, but just then I was able to destroy its hull and everything else. Yup. And here I'm still shooting at that tank because I thought there was a crewman still over there. And yep, there he is. But I'm still going to continue to shoot at it because I think there's even more crewmen over there. Anyways, I'm going to take this time to talk about the major tank action that you missed at the beginning of the video. So around the 13th minute, my opponent snuck a Puma behind my lines, and he destroyed one of my Panzer IVs from point-blank range. And then I countered by building a Panzer IV E variant. That's the tank you're seeing right now. And I destroyed his Puma. And around the 11th minute, my opponent brought out another Puma, but I destroyed that with another Panzer IV. And then my opponent did some more scouting, and this time with a Volkswagen Kubelwagen, and I destroyed that with a Panzer IV E variant. That's the same tank you're seeing right now. Alright, back to the action that's happening right now on screen. After I blew the heck out of that Panzer IV right there, I've decided to repair it. Okay, and right back here I have a Panther tank, and I've got that kind of out in the open. I should have put it under cover. But anyways, I didn't, so that's that. And there's my tank crew sneaking up to that Panzer IV. I'm going to try to repair it. And I'm using my tank right there. That's my E variant Panzer IV. And I'm going to use it to provide cover for my crew as they repair the enemy's tank there. So basically I'm using all Panzer IVs, and I also have a Panther tank out there. And yeah, this is kind of funny because we're both using Germany. So it's going to make the battle more interesting, but it might be a little more difficult for you guys to follow. But I'll try to explain which tank is mine and which is his. Alright, there's my SMG squad. I'm going to move them up here. See if there's any troops nearby. Any enemy troops nearby, that is. And over on this side I have another SMG squad here. And you can see one of my opponent's knocked out vehicles. That is a Puma. That's basically an armored car. Very fast though. But I'm going to take my SMG squad. I'm going to try to repair that Puma, and I'm going to use it for my own personal usage. So there's my crew sneaking up, and we're going to start fixing that thing. And there's my other crew trying to repair that Panzer IV. Here's a little close-up of it. That's my crew. So he's right now he's trying to build the track. And look at that, my opponent just snuck a Panzer III behind my lines, and he destroyed my Panther. Not only that, he also destroyed my Panzer IV E variant. So that was quite a shock to me. But I'm going to bring up my Panzer IVs here, and I'm going to counter my opponent's Panzer III. And boom, I destroyed his Panzer III. And it's burning right now. But the crew of his Panzer III jumped out, and now they are in a firefight with my crew out there who is repairing the Panzer IV. And I tried to repair it again, and just then, one of his enemy crew jumped out and shot my crew, so I lost my crew right there. which is fine because I'm going to retaliate by sending my tanks up there. And I can't believe I lost a Panther and a Panzer IV to that Panzer III. That sucks. Anyways, there's my crew. I'm going to move them up, and I'm just going to use them as infantry for now. So we're going to come up on both sides of that wreckage, and I'm going to blast that thing again. Because I think there is an enemy crew right there, but if there was, he won't be able to use that tank anymore because I just completely destroyed it. And I took one little shot at that Panzer III right there, and I'm just going to ignore it for now. And I'm going to press forward here with my tanks, and I'm going to launch my own little attack against my opponent. I'm going to try to disrupt my opponent's plans right now, because he spent the first 5 minutes like harassing me from behind with his Pumas and his other armored vehicles. Alright, so looks like my crew is done repairing that Puma. So I'm going to bring out some of my infantry up here. And I'm going to put the crew inside that Puma. So now I have a captured vehicle. But since it's German, it shouldn't be that hard for my crew to get the hang of. Okay, so I have tons of armored vehicles now. Literally tons. And I also have a King Tiger tank. And that's going to supplement my Panzer IV force. And I also have this captured Puma. And I'm going to let that armored vehicle scout ahead of my tank force. So I'm going to transfer that Puma to my left flank here. I'm going to back it up first. And hopefully my guy doesn't get in the way of my wheels there. That'd be unfortunate to run one of my guys over. Okay. So let's bring him over here. And right there's my King Tiger tank. He's got that sweet camo pattern on his armor. And check this out, my opponent brought another Puma out, and he was just about to destroy my King Tiger tank, but then my Puma shot his Puma. So I was saved by my enemy's captured vehicle there. And that's what my opponent was doing for the first 5 minutes. He was getting behind my lines like that, and shooting up my tanks. And I never found out where they were coming from, but it's fine. So I'm going to take my Puma, I'm going to destroy his crew, and I also destroyed the Puma right there, to make sure that Puma wouldn't be able to be fixed again. Alright, looks like I have assembled my armored force here. Now I'm going to go forward here and give my opponent the business. And it's kind of interesting that we're both using Germany. So what kind of motivation would this fighting be for? I can only think of Hamburg versus Bayer Leverkusen, or some kind of Bundesliga match. Okay, so bringing up my infantry, and there's some crew on that tank right there, but my tanks shot them up. So it looks like they were trying to repair it, and I'm glad my tank saw them, because otherwise those tanks would have been firing at my rear, and I was getting tired of that. Okay, there is another armored vehicle. That's my opponent's right there. And there's another armored vehicle. So my opponent has a Panzer III and a Panzer IV. And his Panzer IV is going to destroy my Puma, and his Panzer III destroyed my Panzer IV. But luckily, my other Panzer IV destroyed his Panzer III. And if you look up there, you can see my infantryman. He's sneaking up to that Panzer IV, and he's going to launch his Panzerschreck right now. Boom! So my Panzerschreck destroys that Panzer IV. So I've destroyed my opponent's Panzer III and Panzer IV. Now I'm safe to proceed forward with my remaining tanks and my remaining foot soldiers. And luckily I still have my King Tiger tank. But my King Tiger tank hasn't done anything really, except intimidate my opponent. Alright, as the crew of that Panzer IV jumped out, my SMG squad shot him up. So I have to keep moving forward here and find the rest of my opponent's troops. And there's like 30 seconds left. I could have sat on my lead earlier, but I'd rather attack than sit on my lead, just because it makes the video more interesting, and it makes the battle more interesting too, and it's fun. Okay, there's 15 seconds left. Can I find any more enemy troops or vehicles? Let's hope so. I have an SMG squad right there. I'm going to move them forward here into that little where those buildings are. And as I move forward, my opponent surprises me with another Puma, and he destroys a Panzer IV. So he got the last kill, but I won the battle. Good game to my opponent.